Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
So we've got Alka. Your Twitter handle is Alka H. Please ask Jonny about a near-death experience. Anything else to talk about other than the lines? Maybe you tuned in late, or maybe I read your tweet late, but he was talking about being surrounded by a pride of lions, and he made it out alive. Amazing. This is Pranav Nair on Facebook. Who are more ferocious, lions or tigers? You know, you're the resident wildlife expert. You're not the filmmaker anymore. But in your experience,
more ferocious. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think of a funny answer, but I think the real answer would be that generally I would be more afraid of tigers because I think they would sneak up on you, and I think there's something very clever and they're bigger, and I think that's probably the more popular answer as well because we're in India and this is where mainly, I know there's lions here too in the Gir forest, but mainly there's tigers. So I would be more afraid of a tiger, I think, than a pride of lions, having sort of spent a lot of time with lions. I mean, when we were filming them, we would sometimes sort of sit with our legs dangling over the edge of the vehicle, and I would sort of start to drift off to sleep at night, you know, because we were filming through the night, and we get tired after weeks and weeks of being up all night, and then you'd have suddenly you'd feel something brush past your leg, and it was a lion kind of just rubbing itself against the vehicle, but would catch you on the leg. And so I think the lions were quite gentle pussycats really, but tigers I just don't think would do that. I think a tiger's a little bit smarter and would probably have you for breakfast. Yeah.
Jonny, I'm keen to know your thoughts on this. I mean, like in the UK, India also has this huge invasion of content, and there's all kinds of internet content from Netflix to Amazon Prime, and luckily the audio podcasting boom hasn't hit India. Enough people still listening to the radio, thankfully so. And you've seen that in the UK, and amidst this barrage of content, documentaries, are millennials and teenagers taking to it? Yeah. You know that you and me love it, but I'm just saying, how's the young generation taking to it?
Oh, in a really, really big way. I mean, last year, as an example, we had a series, Blue Planet 2, which came out, and it was the most popular programme in the UK for the whole year. Be all sports, it be all dramas, all reality shows, all kind of pop shows. I mean, anything. The most popular show of the whole year was Blue Planet 2, a factual documentary with somewhere upwards of 17-18 million people watching it. You know, that's nearly a third of our population, and that included a lot of teenagers, a lot of kids in their 20s and so on, who would normally be tuning in. I don't know if you have things like Pop Idol and X Factor and so on here, but they would normally be tuning into that. But they tuned out of that and straight into these factual programs, and that's sort of spread. That's around the world too. I think here on Sony BBC Earth channel as well. I think there's a lot of viewers. It's had a really big impact in a very short period of time. And in places like China, we're getting now 250 million people watching. First Planet Earth, we had around the globe was upward of 750 million people, of which many were young. So there's a real kind of revolution, I think, in viewing.
Wonderful. Now, Jonny is currently executive producer on the landmark series for 2019, Seven Worlds. Obviously, we can't expect him to give us the full lowdown, but just a sneak peek, Jonny.
Yeah. So there's 7 episodes. Each one is a continent. So there's one entire episode on Asia, on Asian wildlife, one on African, one on South American. And it's really the story which I only sort of discovered recently, which is that the Earth, there was one supercontinent here, which was called Pangaea, that broke apart 200 million years ago, and where those continents now sit has a huge impact on the animals and the people that live there. So it's a wildlife series, but it's based around this amazing event that happened a few hundred million years ago, which now impacts everything we do. But it's and what we've really tried to do, and the team have succeeded actually, is to film new and unexpected and surprising behaviour. So I've worked with animals for 30-40 years, and the team's coming to me saying, hey, there's a polar bear story and this is it. And I said, great, sounds fantastic, yep, we go and film it. And they've come back with brand new polar bear behaviour. They've come back with brand new behavior from mountain lions in South America. I mean, there's lots of really exciting news stories and little kind of quirky news stories as well. So hopefully it will, on one level, at the sort of plate tectonics where the Earth's shifting, that will give people a new perspective of the world, but also they'll see things they've never even dreamt exist. I mean, I was talking to David Attenborough about it the other day, showing him some sequences, and some of the animals, even he, as a 92-year-old with amazing experience, some of the animals he'd never seen before. So it's very new, and it's very original, and it's very surprising.
Well, you've survived despite all this daredevilry. So it's obvious the animals like you. But with your sparkling wit and intelligence, I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed this entire hour. I suspect human beings love you as much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank
Cheers.
you.
It's Messages and Back.